once it became a business opportunity, it was all white.
All good.
I went to the convention, and it's all white.
It doesn't matter what you do in this country.
It's money.
Just who did it.
Yeah.
Oh shit, that's facts. It doesn't matter what you do in this country.
Don't matter what you did in this
Yeah.
country. You can have 34 felonies in this country and get the best job in the land.
And
Some people can.
Yeah.
Don't matter what you do in this country, just who did it.
You're right.
Shit. That shit is say that. What's that percentage
It's
again?
0.4. 0.4%.
God.
Oh, the black people get
money.
money.
Keep in mind, wait a minute. Let me do you one better though, Godfrey, while we at it. 0.4%, and some of that money is earmarked for black women founders. So keep in mind, I'm out looking for money in the fraction
of
0.4
of
of
the
1%.
less than 1%.
And is it because of how white supremacy has set up
Of course.
black people and
They're
disenfranchised?
not giving you no money. You might as well, if somebody tells you that they work in venture, you might as well put a whites only sign on the door. You ain't getting none.
What?
Period. Don't take my word for it. Chat GPT the data. It's 0.4%. Some of that is earmarked for black women. I started to identify as a woman.
Word. Hey, you can be a lot of trans motherfuckers. I'm a woman, thank you. Respect me.
They was looking at my feet the whole time.
Damn.
Yeah, it's not a game out here.
You aren't getting the money.
You are not getting no money from us. And
So
keep in mind, that's a way to drown these babies in the bathtub.
Yeah.
To drown businesses like mine is to just say, "Oh yeah, oh great, we love the
Love
deck.
it,
Yeah,
but
we'll
we're
get
not
back
giving
to
you
you.
the money."
We'll get back to you. Get your
And think
nigga-
about how many
get your nigga
that's
ass
been
up outta
going
here.
on since the inception
Come
of
on,
capitalism.
Bruh.
And I also
Damn, that is disheartening.
bro.
Yeah,
But you know what? I got to get up in the morning and make it happen.
Yeah.
What I'm gonna do? Sit around and pout about it? You got to raise money.
Yeah.
I still got to keep the lights on. You know. Now, fortunately, because I just released the e-commerce platform, you know, now we start onboarding businesses. Some money will start coming my way, and you know, and then hopefully we can set off the sale. But when you're first building this thing, it's just you are just shelling out money to build up the
Cause you're
tech.
black. Just cause. Nah, you ain't getting anything.
You don't care how good the idea is.
And the racism.
So this is the
and
thing
then
when
they
you-
say racism is not that. Why is it about race? Yeah, why is it? Why can't we have money?
Right.
It is about race to you.
Yeah.
That's fucked up, man.
I'm gonna tell
That
you
he says-
something else, though.
God.
You know what else is sad is our people who have money, right? Let me and I know they're not gonna like this, but let me
You know that
let
one
me-
billionaire
let me-
guy that's always on like he's on
Robert
Breakfast
Smith.
Club? Robert Smith.
Yo, you know what's
What
so
about him?
sad? He's from Denver.
What?
His dad was my principal.
God
What?
damn.
He's a billionaire, like $10 billion.
Yo, let me tell you something about, and I'm not talking about Robert Smith. So don't think that I'm talking about us as a people in general. I go out looking for money from our folks who have tons of money. I got to talk to a white guy who's managing their money.
Oh,
Really? That's crazy.
damn.
What other group of people do you got to talk to somebody else
to get they
to what the?
So the crazy rich black people got white accountants.
Yes.
That's crazy.
I'll tell you, I was
Who
looking
could
for
care? Let me tell you. Let me
This
tell
is
you. Let me
Robert
tell you
Smith.
what
I got
happened.
Robert Smith, but there's the
That's sad. That's the mentality that we have. We think that they know better than we do. We think that they're smarter than us. Why not have somebody black watch over your money? Watch your own money. Why somebody? That's crazy. Wow. That's deep.
the other guy. He's always giving advice on businesses and breaking down black percentages. He kind of reminds you of Robert Smith, same kind of look. Not this Robert Smith.
I know who you're talking
the
about.
guy, he's always on like
gray hair.
Gray hair, but he goes,
Yeah.
listen, guys, I'm trying to tell you guys, you're not listening. You know, he's like, black people, blah, 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 blah. He's real good advice.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
He's worth
I know
like,
the guy.
You know what I'm talking
Yeah, I
about?
know you're
Damn, I
talking
gotta
about, yeah.
find it.
Is it
Damn, not
Robert
Smith,
Johnson?
though.
No.
What?
No.
Robert
What were you
Johnson?
gonna say, John?
No.
So what's Robert Smith no good or?
No. I don't know Robert Smith.
Right, okay.
Like I said, his father was my principal. He's
That's
from
crazy.
up the street in Denver, though.
That's crazy.
But I'm saying that
If somebody
so that's
knows
who we have
Robert
to,
Smith,
you know,
tell them to call John.
yeah.
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 Call
Anybody
John
know
for
Robert
black.
Smith, holla at me, man. But I was on to give you an actual example. I was on one time. A friend of mine said, "Hey man, John, I think I can help you find some money. I know a friend of mine is
Tyler should be
an
behind it.
agent,
Yeah.
an NBA agent. So I get on. She's got two clients that are household names.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. We get on. She's sitting there. She said, so what are we doing here? And I said, yo, I got an app. Da 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 da. And she said, oh, okay. So do you want them to do like a commercial line or
Yeah.
or maybe they could model like some
I need
clothes
some
or
money.
something, looking for some money. So she said, well, what does the app do? And I said, oh, just go ahead and download it. It'll take like 15 seconds. I got time. She said, oh no, I don't need to download it. She wouldn't even download the app.
Black chick?
No, of course not.
Oh, white chick.
Yes.
She heard
Both
black
both of these NBA players' agents wouldn't even download it. And that's country.
Yeah.
You could have 34 felonies in this country and get the best job in the land.
And yeah.
Some people can.
Yeah.
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 Don't matter what
Right.
you do in this country. The people in general. I go out looking for money from our folks who have tons of money. I got to talk to a white guy who's managing their money.
Oh,
Really? That's crazy.
What other group of people do you got to talk to somebody else
To get they
to
damn.
what the
So the crazy rich black people got white accountants.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
That's crazy.
I'll tell you, I was looking
who could
for
care? Let me
there's-
tell you. Let me
This
tell
is
you. Let me
Robert
tell you
Smith.
what
I got
happened.
Robert Smith, but
No,
there's
you're
the other
right.
guy. He's always giving advice on businesses and breaking down black percentages. He kind of reminds you of Robert Smith, same kind of look. Not this Robert Smith.
I know who you're talking
The
about.
guy, he's always on like
gray hair.
gray hair, but he goes,
Yeah.
listen, guys, I'm trying to tell you guys, you're not listening. He's like, black people, blah, 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 blah. He's real good advice.
Yeah, sharp.
Yeah.
He's worth
I know
like,
the guy.
You know what I'm talking
Yeah, I
about?
know you're
Damn, I
talking
gotta
about,
find it.
Is it
Damn, not
Robert
Smith,
Johnson?
though.
No.
Rob-
No.
okay.
Robert
What were you
Johnson?
gonna say, John?
No.
So what's Robert Smith no good or?
No. I have no. I don't know Robert Smith.
Right, okay.
Like I said, his father was my principal. He's
That's
from up
crazy.
the street in Denver, though.
That's crazy.
But I'm saying that
If
so
somebody
that's
knows
who we have
Robert
to,
Smith, tell him to call John.
Yeah.
Yeah. Call
Anybody
John
know
for
Robert
Blap.
Smith, holla at me, man. But I was on to give you an actual example. I was on one time. A friend of mine said, "Hey, man, John, I think I can help you find some money. I know a friend of mine is an agent,
Yeah.
an NBA agent." So I get on. She's got two clients that are household names.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. We get on. She's sitting there. She said, so what are we doing here? And I said, yo, I got an app. Da 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 da. And she said, oh, okay. So do you want them to do like a commercial line or
Yeah.
or maybe they could model like some
I need
clothes
some
or
money.
something, looking for some money. So she said, well, what does the app do? And I said, oh, just go ahead and download it. It'll take like 15 seconds. I got time. She said, oh no, I don't need to download it. She wouldn't even download the app.
Black chick?
No, of course not.
Oh, white chick.
Yes.
She heard
Both
black-
both of these NBA players' agents wouldn't even download it. And that's who our folks send us to talk to for money. Because I know good and goddamn well, if I had talked to them for 10 seconds, they'd have been like, nigga, how much you need? They'd have hit me.
So
I would have
she-
already had the money.
So she's in charge of the black people's money.
Yes.
Wow.
This white lady.
Yes.
Crazy
Yeah,
as fuck.
she's-
And that's what we are
Wow.
up against
That's
as black
crazy.
founders.
black money.
That's
Right.
crazy.
Where else does that
Crazy.
exist?
That's crazy.
Where else? And I told
We
mama because I
fucked
was
up,
going to start
bro.
calling people out. And how do you not have some sort of liaison that I could talk to some bruh?
Yeah.
That's what fucked up, my nigga. You fucked up, dog. That's fucked up. That is fucked up, man. That's crazy. Hit the thumbs up, man.
Some sister that I could talk to before we got to talk, she said she refused to download it.
Which takes literally 5 seconds.
Never mind support it, she wouldn't download the motherfucker.
Yeah.
Damn.
That's crazy.
That's what we up against.
A free app.
So never mind the 0.4%. Even those of us that got money, I got to talk to somebody who won't download a free app.
Give her the elevator pitch though?
I did.
And she, what did she want?
And then
more?
she wanted to know, how am I getting paid off of this?
Yeah.
Because you ain't said nothing that sound like
gets me paid.
Nothing get me paid.
Where's my percentage?
My pussy's still dry.
And also, she wouldn't give a fuck about it because she's white. It's not for her,
bro. Not unwilling to download it and look at it.
You can't. I mean,
That's what we up against out here.
This year, like I had some tax problems, and I just got a black accountant. But to find a black accountant was difficult. To find a black doctor, I was trying to find a black doctor.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about doing an app just to to find black doctors.
I think there's an app. I talked to a sister, and I hope I don't screw this up because she was so awesome. Called Find a Black Doctor. She has a directory.
Blocked her?
Find a black doctor. Did I say blocked her?
Nigga, shut up.
Find a wait. It's called Find Her After You Blocked Her.
Blocked her.
Yeah, but I believe that there is now a website for that. Now, what's going to happen is we started with the brick and mortar, right, putting it on a Google map. Mm-hmm. Then we moved, obviously, tonight to e-commerce, to the Black Amazon. Mm-hmm. By the late summer, early fall, we will have services. So you will be able to find a doctor, a lawyer, a dog walker, a dog sitter, all on Black. You'll be able to find therapists. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah.
So it's great.
That was like, and even if you get your black doctor, then if you want to get a urologist or I want a black urologist, I want a black cardiologist, you can't
Well, you
couldn't even do it.
It's difficult to find, and that's why I say I always give grace, because if you're unable to find something, then where are you gonna go? You know what I mean? I remember when I first started the app, man, I was looking on my app and I saw a pizza place, black-owned pizza place. Of course, there's no black-owned pizza place, right? But it was on the app, so I called to make sure it's black-owned, right?
Right.
There's no answer. You know what I did? Hit Little Caesars. Mm-hmm. None of us is going out of our way. Yeah. You got to make it easy. And I told my developers that.
Would you eat Little Caesars?
Yo,
Little Caesars used to be good.
Little Caesars used to be
pizza,
fire.
pan.
Little Caesars used to be fire.
It used to be fire.
No, I
it's probably horrible. When I was younger,
You've been cooking at the Waffle House. You know,
real waffle. Not them shit you get and put in the toaster. We make it better.
The Waffle House has the same
shit.
But you don't want the toaster oven waffles.
Yo, Waffle House.
None of y'all better tell me nothing about waffles.
What y'all little asses know about waffles?
Yo,
Little Caesars.
This is like, but I'm glad you're doing. Yo, man, damn. You never had no GoFundMe, none of those things. You ever tried any of that?
Because
you can't do that.
Well, I could, but the thing is, the chunks of money that you need, you kind of need.
It's crazy. Little Caesars used to be good though back in the day, like in the '90s. Used to be bomb. Now it tastes like shit. That shit tastes like straight plastic. That cheese ain't real. The pepperoni ain't real. That shit tastes horrible. I wouldn't even feed my kid. That shit tastes like straight plastic now. And the last time I had Little Caesars, I got sick off of one slice. I couldn't even finish the slice. I felt nauseous. It was too much grease. The cheese wasn't. You could taste the cheese is cheap. It's like a cheap cheese. That's why they can sell them pizzas $5 a box, because it's cheap quality ingredients. Yeah. Back in the day, like the '90s, it used to be bomb.
Need to raise faster than that.
Oh.
You know, a GoFundMe could go on forever. And now the lights done got turned off because the company that you work with, the development team, done shut you down. So it's you need to raise bigger chunks of money to keep these things afloat. Now, again, the hardest part about a startup is how are you going to monetize it? So as you can see, I made it. Just squeaked to the monetization part. So now we can start selling goods. Do you know what I mean? And then we'll have some money coming in. So, now Black could probably start to really take off.
Think about if you didn't have the connects that you have.
I would be dead.
And it would be done.
There would be no Black.
So it's so interesting when people go, we need to change our buying products, what we buy, and how we spend our money. And there's really there was a thing with
if I didn't have the phone book that I had, this thing would have been over with.
Yeah.
I watched it. You ever see that thing on Netflix with Killer Mike where he tried
Yeah,
to
he
go
tried to go to the black
and he
neighborhoods.
couldn't do it. He had
Yeah.
to get a bicycle, a
Yeah.
guy who refurbished bicycles.
Right.
He
Yeah.
slept on a
Yeah, it was bad.
You know that
Yeah.
big nigga didn't sleep on no kid.
Yeah,
but he couldn't
He
go
went
to
to
a
grocery
hotel.
stores. It was
Even when he
kinda
went to the
not-
black owned
yeah.
barbecue spot, it wasn't the food wasn't from local farmers.
Right.
So he couldn't eat that, and it was just like
Oh, yeah.
But they
It's
got
just
us
you
in
can't.
every aspect. They
And this
just
has been
really
going on forever. I also want
Because they
to
have-
I want an
they have a
apology to the
monopoly.
fans because I mixed up the 13th, the 14th, and the 15th Amendment with the Civil Rights Act. So they was
Oh yeah,
in my
they was
ass.
mad. They was like,
mad.
man, I don't think
But
he reads. He ain't
but-
shit. Dante, don't you need to
the
shut
thing
him
is,
the fuck
you
up?
know, when you talk a stream of consciousness,
Yeah, of
you're
course.
trying to. The 13th Amendment is freedom of slaves. 14th is
It's 10 o'clock.
citizen,
dots.
gives you equal protection citizens. 15th is the right to vote. Then after that you have, but that's why you get the black codes, because after they pass those amendments,
We are watching Godfrey live. We're watching Godfrey We Trust podcast. Godfrey, this is his podcast. Not this guy. This is Andre, but the dark skin. That's everybody knows how Godfrey looks like. But this is his podcast, and we're doing a reaction. This is pretty interesting, man. I like this stuff. Hit the thumbs up button. Let's go and get back into it.
they did everything they could do to stop.
This
always the
man
pushback.
is-
Because those things in Reconstruction was because the Union Army was enforcing it.
download this now.
When they pulled the Union Army, that's when everything went, and you have the Jim Crow,
Yes.
whatever. Civil Rights Act is 64, I believe.
Okay.
So
hopefully-
they don't.
They'll be like, he still got that shit wrong. I can't stand this motherfucker.
So I did the research, so you know.
Right. So yeah, that's like, man. So well, and someone like Shaq.
Yeah. I mean, you know what, man? Good on you, Godfrey, man, for putting that dude on, because I did see, I reached out to Shaq a couple times, couldn't catch him. Hopefully I do catch him.
Yeah,
You know who else has something, man? Is Jaylen Brown.
Okay.
You know Jaylen Brown?
was a
Yeah.
Boston
And he's
Celtic.
doing his thing.
Yes.
That dude is, and he's smart.
And
Yes.
he's going at niggas
Jaylen
hard.
Brown, Shaq, all of those guys, man, would be
Magic
great
Johnson.
partners. Yeah, man, catching Magic would be that would be crazy.
That would be magic.
Yeah, that would be magic. Yo, but good luck with that.
Boo!
Like I said, Shaq, Jaylen Brown, I probably could catch those
Man,
guys.
but I'm gonna I'll bring it up to Shaq again when I can catch him.
Yeah.
Why not? Because that shit's worth it. It's like
And
it would
it's
behoove him to do it.
Yes.
going to make some money.
It's gonna
Oh,
make
yeah.
money.
Once you in on it,
Once
yeah.
black folks, we start
what's
to
the
really
lowest? What's
start
the
to
lowest
fucking-
investment?
The lowest
You-
investment
what's
that
the
I
lowest
have
you would
now
take?
is
What's the lowest you would
Yeah,
take?
how much
the
you taking?
lowest that I would take now. I mean, that I
5
have in
Gs?
there is 5, 10. I mean, I don't think I have anybody in there at 5. I mean, if somebody's got 5, I mean, you could do that. But I mean, I think the lowest is 10. The average is probably 25.
And what would that get you?
It gets you equity.
the equity.
Yeah.
I want
So
some
equity, and a lot of times people are like, what is that? I was talking to Leslie the other night, and she was like, John, I don't know nothing. I was like, nobody know nothing
Leslie
about
Jones?
that. Yeah.
Oh.
But you got to think. So right now, the valuation of BLAP is $5 million, right?
Yeah.
So just think, if you take, let's say you put $1 in there, and the app goes to $100 million valuation, then you just got a 20x on your money. It goes to $1 billion valuation, you just got a 200x. That's why tech startups make people so rich. There's no way that real estate, when you gonna get 200x? Now,
Yeah.
God forbid it goes to a $10 billion valuation. Now you got a 2,000x on every dollar you gave me.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's how people.
Is that just? But as it grows, or like, how does that work out quarterly? Like, so, like, if you put $1 in, and is it just you just leaving it in?
Yes,
And
you
then
leave it in there. Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
And then on the sale, or if we sell it, let's say somebody comes to want to buy it for $1 billion later on, or we take it public, and now it, on opening day, it's like, oh, it's got a $10 billion valuation. You want to cash out and sell your stock. You know what I mean? At that point
But
in time,
you wouldn't
then
have you. Is it stock, or would it be considered stock?
yeah, at that point in time, yeah.
So what I'm saying, so say I put five stacks
Yeah.
in, and then it goes public.
Right.
Does that translate to shares in
Yes.
the company?
It does?
So
Yes.
it is shares. In
Yes.
it.
does.
Absolutely. Yeah.
We gotta think about
Yo,
investing.
so really the agreement that you sign is called a SAFE. So it's a simple agreement for future equity.
Okay.
So once I take money from some corporation or something for that Series A. Then it converts to shares, a price per share round. That's called that's exactly what that round would be. And then, like you said, yeah, now maybe the shares are worth $3, and then it grows and splits, splits, and then we take it public. Yeah, you have X number of shares, at X.
So you have a list of all the people who've contributed.
Yeah.
So Mike has shares in that.
Yeah, Mike's got equity. Yeah, for sure.
Equity, no doubt.
Yeah. Chris, Tracy, Tiffany. Yeah, all of them have
Tracy
equity.
Morgan, all of them.
Yeah. But like I said, without that, I would have been dead in the water.
Would you do five stacks?
Would you do 5 stacks?
Yeah. Somebody got 5. I mean, it's got to be family.
Yeah.
But I would do 5 stacks. Yeah, for sure. Like I said, I want to close out this round, man. So if it's a bunch of people throwing $5,000 to get me to that 50 or whatever, because now we getting ready to, get these emails out. There's going to be money coming in. The valuation's going to change. You can't let nobody in for $5 million when it's worth $12 million now.
Yeah.
Yo, hey guys, just to let you know, if you all are listening, how's the chats doing? If $5,000, $10,000, we want to invest in this. This is very important. This is working. Because like you said, 1 point something trillion black people spending money.
Man.
It's just they got us so fucked up, man.
Yes.
They really did a wonderful job on us.
Yeah.
They really did.
And
mentally, just spiritually, they just broke us.
But
they
systemically,
systemically,
you can't even get that.
But also to give grace, to black folks as a whole.
Yeah.
Where is the last place that we could go? Because, like I said, in some teeny tiny part of this conversation, you could have went on the block and checked out. I was in a diner the other day with one of my mentors. My guy, one of my business partners, who's a partner in Black, created Venmo. My boy Ikram. So we sitting in the diner.
He created Venmo?
Yeah.
Damn.
So yeah, yo, Tracy gave me some great advice when I first started comedy. He said, Tracy Morgan. He said, never ask a motherfucker how to get something they don't got. So why am I going to try to run a goddamn tech startup without asking somebody who has a household name tech startup?
Yeah.
You better get the right people on your team. So
And
he's
they'll
one of them.
answer if you ask.
Yeah. We sitting there at breakfast. The girl comes over. She said, "Are you ready for your coffee, sir?" He said, "Yeah." So she goes back across the restaurant to get the coffee. He said, "What's going on?" I said, "Yo, man, we got this e-commerce platform." He said, "Yo." So he looks in the app, right? He said, "I always wanted one of these hoodies." He hits the hoodie. He said, "You got Apple Pay in here?"
Yeah.
He double-clicked the Apple Pay, put his phone down. She put the coffee down right behind it. He said, "You telling me I just bought a hoodie before she could get back across the restaurant?" He said, "You in business."
Yeah.
And that's how easy it needs to be, because that's how people are used to
You
shopping.
don't make it easy. Yeah.
Thank you.
You have to
The
make
E
it
in
easy.
e-commerce is easy.
That's why
Convenience.
Amazon make the money they made. It's because
Yes.
people
'Cause
don't
it's
want to leave.
convenience.
People don't want to.
Yeah.
People are like, I
They
need a
get
plunger,
shit
and they type in and get a
Tomorrow,
plunger.
shit's
Yes.
at your door. Convenience.
And I am
Nigga,
about
I
to
bought
put
Febreze.
thousands.
I
and
bought Febreze at 2:35 last night.
Isn't it fun though?
Yeah.
Isn't it wonderful?
I was like,
that you're gonna get your shit in a couple hours.
Yes.
That feeling.
It's like
and you're right.
Christmas.
But it's no different than all of this shit makes sense, because even on the Instagram, I go, man, what should I name it? Is something as simple, don't have anybody struggling looking for you. Don't let them
they
be like-
struggling,
they be
they
like,
won't.
they say, Godfrey comedian, that's it? Yeah, motherfucker. Because even the dumbest motherfucker be like, has to be like Godfrey, maybe Godfrey comic. You won't even want somebody to guess it right.
Yes.
It has to be that simple.
Yeah.
That so people can come right. If they're
Yeah,
going Godfrey _ funny with satirical
Yeah,
methods.
yeah. They're never
that.
gonna. They're never
You
gonna.
have to
I've
make it
done
as simple.
Shopify, which is successful.
BLK.
But if I gotta fill out Shopify
Man,
and I
no.
can't do an autofill, I'm gonna go to Amazon.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It's facts.
It has to be easy.
Just that emotional thing.
You got to make it quick.
It
so
has to
people
be
don't
easy.
change their
Yes. And I spent a year and a half making it easy. Took me a year and a half. I started, that was in September of 2023. So it took me like a year and a half. But now, like I said, you can get in there and check out Bang Bang. And like I said, between now and May, there'll probably be 2,000 to 5,000 businesses, and then going into Juneteenth.
Looking for a professional photographer for your next big event? Need video of your special day? Then look no further. For $100 an hour, have a professional photographer or videographer shoot your wedding, birthday party, quinceañera, bar mitzvah or bat mitzvah, anniversary party, or whatever your special occasion may be. Highlight your event with professional, crisp photos and video. Check out Charles Arness Photography on Instagram as well as book us for your next event. Must live in the Southern California area.